Hello guys, working on step 2 of the Merak E750 build. We're going to be working on the main frame assembly, and all those previous components in step 1 we'll be installing those and a few other items that I haven't shown yet, but I will cover that in turn as we go through the build. There's 6 bags in this one. We have an extra bag here which I'll talk about now. So you have your servo mounts, and then these are the standoffs. Since I'm running the future body and not going to be running just a standard canopy, I'll have to use these standoffs that are in this bag that came with the future body. So you got some of the control lever stuff and different mounting for the main shaft bearing blocks, landing gear, and then this is for the battery. But I'll cover that all in turn as we go through it. But just wanted to give you a brief overview before I started opening up the bags and started cleaning. Thanks. Hello guys. So what we're working on now is the servo frame assembly. We're just getting started. We're putting the aileron levers in, the tail pitch slider, and then these are the servo mounts that go up in the front. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I'm running the future body on this, so I have these longer standoffs as compared to the stock ones. And the difference that I made here is this manual calls out 3x8. I'm going to use 3x10s and 3x6s for the shorters, and I'm going to use 3x8 since these are a little bit longer. So I've already checked to make sure they fit well. The only other thing to note on the aileron levers, where these go through, right, hopefully you guys can see it, so they go install on each side of the frame. They just wanted you to put just hopefully you guys can see that, but just the nut riding up against there, and I'm not real keen on that, so I'm going to install a washer in between the carbon frame and then the nut. And what I did there is these screws right here call for a 3x15, so I just added I went to a 3x16 to compensate for the 1mm thickness of the washer that's going to go on the inside. So I've already checked with the main bearing blocks and everything like that. Everything fits, nothing hits, even with the fender washer on there, but that'll at least spread the load out there and make it potentially more secure. I'm sure it's fine the way it is. I just always err on the side of caution, I guess. So, but when it comes to the body mounts, this is the stock location here in the back and up here in the front. The nice thing is that the future body, for the future body, he already has the holes cut out. So here's the long pillar and then the short pillar right there. So you don't use the stock locations if you're using the future body. So, yep. So I will cut the video there, and I will come back after it's all done. Thanks. Hey guys, we're back. It's been a couple days since the last clip, but that's due to the fact that I wanted to order up some hardware and some bearings for the next step. In the first clip, I mentioned that I was going to use a 3x16 here. I ended up going with a 3x18. I didn't have enough thread showing past the end of the nylon nut, and I typically like 2 to 3 there. So just ordered up some 3x18 M3 socketed cap screws, and that worked out just fine. So yeah, everything clears, and it's going to work out just fine. Spreads that load out there. Looks good. When it comes to the tail pitch control, I did not add any washers to that. Mainly because if you look inside of there, there's a nice metal block that sits on, so that spreads the load out enough for me. I did use some washers on the rear standoffs and front standoffs. Basically what I did here is I got some low profile socket head cap screws, and then with the washer that equals the same thickness as a standard M3 head. So yeah, everything worked out good there. This is a pretty tight clearance on the tail boom, as you guys will see in some upcoming steps, but yeah, that came out just fine. The servo inserts for mounting are installed. I didn't use any washers here. These are mainly just to hold these plastic inserts in place. So I didn't feel the need to add anything there. So that is good. Oily fingers there. But also, again, here's the front, using those low profile cap head screws again with a washer on there. So everything's good, nice and secure. So we're moving on to the elevator assembly, and then the main bearing block assembly next. He includes some alignment pins for setting all this stuff up, which is nice. Now I do have the upgraded integrated main shaft bearing block, and this integrates the upper two bearing blocks into one piece. And to note, the bearings are not included. I had to purchase those separately. You can just pull one of these bearings out, just heat it up a little bit. It's got the green retaining compound in there. Just heat it up a little bit and you can probably slide these out no problem. So you really don't need to buy them. I just had an order in already for that hardware, so I figured I'd add 2 bearings in there. So everything worked out really good there. So yeah, just added a little green retaining compound. In that case I used Loctite 620 since it was such a tight fit. But yeah, everything went well. This will be ready to install. I got the main shaft out from step 3-6, which will come up soon, but that's just so you can help with alignment here. Obviously these two will not be used, and it'll just be this setup right there. So yeah, I'll break away, get those steps done, and then we will follow up on that. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're back. Pretty straightforward on all those steps with the elevator A-arm here. Just wanted to show you how that goes together. Obviously, these are the 2 jigging rods that they want you to install as you're setting it up. Obviously, this gets us at 90, and then this gets us to the right angle for the servo. The main shaft, no big deal there either. You got these 8 screws here, and then the 4 down on the bottom. I did have to try out, let me see here. I tried out 2 different bearing blocks to get the best fit, and it was a little tight no matter how hard I tried on one bearing block, but then when I tried the other one, as you can see, it just it's perfect. It slides right through, everything like that. I don't know, maybe one of the first bearing block I was trying to use maybe didn't get pressed in correctly, but this is absolutely perfect. Slides right through, nice and smooth. So we're good to go there. So other than that, not too much else to comment on those 2 particular steps. Pretty easy, real good quality hardware. Looks really nice with those like coned cupped washers there. But yeah, we're done with that portion, and I'll move that off to the side. And now this is the last of the steps in step 2. Obviously we're going to get the landing gear on, but this combines a couple different. I just want to kind of shorten up the video, so I don't need to cover this. You guys, it's pretty much mechanical assembly, but just to kind of show it. So obviously that's at the front radio tray. This is an ESC tray here. This is for the battery tray, and then all this up in here is for the landing gear setup. So yeah, I mean, I'll go through everything. Actually, before I do it, so I've decided, so there's a couple different spots. These right here are to mount these battery brackets for the battery tray. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the aft position for now, and then see how that works out, and then move it forward as I go through if I need it. But with the future body, I'm gonna have a little bit more weight forward than I normally would, so I'm gonna give it a try with keeping them kind of closer to the main shaft and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll give that a shot, see how it goes. Obviously a lot of things to tweak and stuff on the helicopter. So, but yeah, I will cut the video here, and then I will get all the other components installed. Thanks. Okay, we're back. We're complete with step 2 and all the items in that. Nothing really to note. Everything went together really, really nice as you'd expect. I guess the only other thing to really talk about here is that the ESC and the landing gear aren't Loctited in yet, and that's because I'm sure I'm going to have to take that back out to help with the design mount for the ESC, and obviously the landing gear has got to come back out to install the future body down the road once it gets test flown. Speaking of ESCs, I initially planned to put the Tribunus 2 130 amp ESC in here. With the release of the Tribunus 3 150 amp ESC, I'm going to put one of those in there. I've ordered it up and it's on its way. It should be here by Friday for the new Tribunus 3. I really like the internal capacitors and the mounting tabs that it's got on there, along with all the new internal features that it's got. So looking forward to trying that out. The only other thing that I really wanted to comment on was, as I made a mistake in the last video clip, I said I was going to use the aft battery mounting position for the stacked batteries, but I ended up using the forward for now. Again, I'll have to test it, CG it, see where it's at, and then if I have to move it, then I'll move it back, but not a big deal right now. Let's see. Oh, so yeah, just kind of tying it up on this front equipment tray. It calls for M3x8 screws. I ended up using M3x12s so I could run that washer like I like to and have a few threads showing. This may all change if I design or develop anything for like antenna mounts, cable routing, stuff like that. So this may or may not come out a few more times, but yeah, it came out nice. Everything fits nice. I do like the fact it's kind of hard to see. You can see it's kind of slotted in here, so this is adjustable to give different angles for whatever you want. In my case, that's probably just going to be the electronics battery. I don't run a BEC in any of my ESCs. I always run a separate battery pack, so that'll be a good spot to put that battery. Obviously, receivers up here, and then there's really not a whole lot to it after that. So, but yeah, next couple of steps are getting the main gear together and starting to work on the rotor head and tail and stuff like that. So it's going to come together pretty fast. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and hope you found some value again in this. And thanks. We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.